On Sunday, many of Lordeaux's political parties met for their first official pre-event debate. The event was hosted by current Prime Minister Oricat as he prepares to hand the reins over to whatever party ends up winning the first vote this weekend. This debate was, of course, filled with plenty of interesting comments, and for the first time, we got to see a lot of what these parties and their representatives really stand for. Pre-event polling, courtesy of the People's Index, showed the most popular parties seemed to be the Vanguard Party and Vox Populi, with EVIL right behind them. But post-debate polling shows different groups were found the most effective. An independent pollster asks people to rank each party's performance on a scale of 1 to 5, which showed that the communist message of the LLL resonated with viewers, followed very closely behind by the more common-sense message touted by EVIL. Vanguard and Vox Populi, being the two most populated parties, rounded out the top 4. The People's Index poll, alternatively, showed an insurgent interest for the Cavalry Party, which performed the worst out of the 6 on the debate night poll, as well as continued interest for both the LLL and EVIL. Now, I am joined by 3 of my co-hosts, Krissie, Puppy, and Acel. Guys, 2 different polls here, but it seems pretty clear to me that the LLL is, despite their radical communist ideology, relatively popular within Lordeaux. Why do you guys think that is?
Well, I personally think it's probably because they're trying to give the workers leverage, but at the same time, I don't really think they're the right party.
That's very fair.
I think we need to stop giving social welfare to most people. I feel like every citizen in Lordeaux needs to just put on their bootstraps and get to work, you know? I think everyone needs to work.
Yeah, everyone definitely needs to work. I agree with that. What do you think, Acel?
I agree that most people should be doing work for themselves, but I don't feel as though everybody should do the same amount.
Yeah, it seems a little bit silly that, no matter what job you do, you be compensated equally. It seems silly to me that people like, the doctors and honestly our hard soldiers and fighters would be compensated equally to people that are just going to, have a little random pastry shop that doesn't actually help anybody and is just for show. I think that's very interesting. Now, kind of collaborating based on that, I thought it was interesting that in the debate, the LLL talked about how you should be communist. They specifically said that everybody should be communist, which I think really promotes a lack of thought diversity within our ranks, which is not something that I think makes Lordeaux special. I think what makes Lordeaux special is the different kinds of thought in our nation.
I agree with that. I think everyone should be able to believe in what they want to believe in and do what they want to do. I don't think that anyone should do anything just because the government want them to. I think everyone should be able to vote for the party that they want to, not just be communists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Just because, Lordeaux is built on the fact that we all have different political stances and different ideologies, and it'd be cruel to take that away, because why are we here if not for that?
Very true.
I think what makes Lordeaux unique in a sense of our group or our nation instead of every other nation in the server is because we have so many different factors. We have such a different community of people in our nation that makes us stronger because we can take all the strengths from each party and each group ideology and put it together to make the best nation.
For sure. Another thing that I think is worrisome is the fact that the LLL, at the get-go, off the rip, controls the quartermaster. I think it's really concerning that all of our resources are flowing through a specific political party. I don't really understand why it was set up this way, and I think that's number one. Got to be a big priority for most people is take the quartermaster out of the hands of one specific party and release it back to all of the people of Lordeaux, quite honestly.
No, I totally agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I think the quartermaster situation should be, I think every political party in the nation should send one person into the quartermaster to help out. I don't think it should be controlled by just one party. I think every party should have a say into it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think everyone should have a say. I don't think it should only be one party to be able to control everything. Other than that, there can end up being corruption. Some people could end up having favoritism, and that's not good for a nation.
Now, one of the most popular parties, the Vanguard Party, had actually pretty middling debate results, and that is being despite their larger voter base. This, of course, if you watch the debate, isn't really a surprise, considering their wishes to send your children to the coal mines. Take a listen to this.
On the early days, so that we can have them in the mines working continuously, being able to provide the most amount that they can possibly provide, and not have to go and collect their own resources to get the tools to help collect more resources.
In addition, Elke Alkaline, representative of the party, mentioned, and I quote, that the party matters more than the individual. Now, with radical thinking such as this, and with their representative being almost embarrassingly passionate, it isn't a surprise that interest in this party has declined this past week. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
Just like the LLL, I feel like everyone shouldn't be forced to do one thing, you know? I think that diversity in our nation is a good thing. I don't think everyone should be forced into the coal mines. If you like coal mining, yeah, sure, go ahead. Go and mine if you want. But personally, I enjoy farming more. I enjoy building more. I do not want to go into the mines and mine.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't want to go into the mines of mine either. They suggested in the start of the debate that every single person, when the event starts, should head straight to the mines and be there for the next 2 days. And I do not believe that we should be doing that. We should also be starting on our belts. We should be, in general, just gathering all the resources, not only diamonds and coal and whatever. I think that it's very important that we gather everything and let everyone do what they want to do and not just go mining.
I agree with that. I feel like stone and ores aren't just the only important thing. We need to get food production up. We need to get building resources like wood, and we need important resources like sugarcane and all that other stuff, not just building blocks like stone and ore.
Yeah. Another controversial thing that he actually did say during the debate was that he believed that not other group leaders were as passionate and dedicated as he and his party was, which I found quite offensive, honestly, because I don't think that just because that he has that amount of passion doesn't mean that no one else does. Everyone in the nation has passion for the nation, and he's saying that no, it was only his group who has passion for the nation, and if you have passion, you should vote for them. No, that's not true. That's just a straight lie.
Yeah, I can definitely agree to this. I think he's made some definitely choice words, and I feel as though maybe his words don't have anything to back them up, as we haven't seen much action yet. And further basing off what he said earlier about my children yearning for the mines, my children don't yearn for the coal mines, and nor do I, and I feel like we all have our own things that we want to do, and I think he should accept the fact that many people won't want to go into the mines off the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine a worse time than having to go into the mines, except maybe for that one time where I was on a council with shot puns.
Thank you all for coming to the council meeting. It's important that we maintain trust between us.
I don't know if I feel safe, man.
I don't know, seems fine to me.
Let's jump into a bit more of our common sense candidates. EVIL, according to polling, did a pretty solid job resonating with listeners. Why do you guys think that is?
Well, I think first off, it's their pro-business stance, you know? I feel like a nation of businesses is a good thing, you know? Everyone has equal opportunity to rise up the ranks through society with a business. You know, if everyone is the same like the LLL is stating, then no one is special. You know what I mean? Another thing I really like about EVIL is they will legalize marijuana, you know? I feel like everyone should have the freedom to do what they want. I don't like lawmakers and government like banning stuff that I like to do personally, you know what I mean? So I like the fact that they'll legalize marijuana. I feel like everyone should have the freedom to do that if they want to.
I would say the same. Yeah, I like that fact as well. Another thing I really like is the triple down economics. Oh, love that, chef kiss. Absolutely perfection. It will really do our nation good, I believe.
Yeah, EVIL has some stances that I can definitely agree with Puppy and Krissie, with the marijuana and with the economics, but also the fact that they're not afraid of taking over a nation and installing a puppet government, because, you know, I love puppet governments and marijuana. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Remove
absolutely.
all foreign threats.
Absolutely. I 100%
Exactly.
agree. I think our own domestic security is very important. And if there are foreign governments that take an anti-Lordeaux stance, I would feel a lot safer if a pro-Lordeaux government was installed. And I think our national security is definitely in the best hands when it comes to EVIL because of this. I think that they're going to do a very good job dealing with that threat, with any immigration problems. People that just decide that their nation sucks and they don't want to be there anymore, and then they come to Lordeaux and don't bring anything. Obviously, I think you would definitely want those people to be vetted as well, versus just showing up and doing nothing and hanging around on the streets of Lordeaux. So I think EVIL is very strong on those issues. Now, before we conclude our talk, I do want to touch on the cavalry party. Our two independent pollsters had them at last and then first as far as debate performance goes. Cavalry's approach seems a lot more open to embracing Lucentine as opposed to keeping them at an arm's distance, which opens the door to the question and possibility of Lucentine meddling in Lordeaux elections. A pro-Lucentine candidate winning election in Lordeaux could mean the end of Lordeaux as we know it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'd be a little bit scared of cavalry taking power.
Well, yeah, I totally agree with that. Lucentine, I feel like, should be a threat. They've shown constant signs of not liking our nation, and I feel like we should hold them in a much higher regard of threat.
Yeah, I agree with that. We do not. I don't personally like Lucentine, as LVP said. Above Lucentine, the evil Lucentinius. That's the only thing in that whole debate that I agreed with that came out of their mouths. They are evil, and we should not have them within our government. It will not end good for us if we have that.
Yeah, I agree. Pro-Lucentinian people taking part in our government will not represent the majority beliefs of the people. And I feel as though the beliefs of the people comes first before, most of everything else. So I think that would put not only a fear factor on the people, knowing that they might be in danger to a Lucentine sympathist, but also the fact that, their beliefs might not be taken into account.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm also just not a big fan of their leader of the Cavalry Party, procrastination. I mean, he basically just the whole debate said, I can't explain it to you guys, but you just gotta trust me. I'm sorry, I can't trust you, man, when you don't explain anything.
No, I 100% agree. I think it's very important to understand that Lucentine and Lordeaux are two separate states with separate interests. And if we allow those Lucentine sympathists and people, if we allow those types of individuals into our space and through our walls, like, what even is Lordeaux anymore? And I really do think that we need to take a staunch foreign policy position against Lucentine, keep them at distance, be willing to, stand apart from them, and mostly importantly, we do not, need to be friends with these people. We can be stern with them. We can, be acquaintances at best. But keep in mind that they have their own completely different, interests, and we cannot be getting those two things mixed up. All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to our debate recap. I hope you all enjoyed and got something out of it yourself. Remember that there is going to be even more debates coming up, and to keep in mind who you want to vote for as we decide the future of Lordeaux. Thank you all for tuning in.